어릴 적엔 비가 오는 게 싫었어.
Hi guys, it's Victoria. Long time no see. It's been a while since I last logged onto YouTube to talk to you about everything Korea related. I'm so sorry. I owe you guys such a big apology. So I was going to try to update you 2 times every week, and it has been over a month and I haven't updated you at all. So for that, my apologies. I have wanted to make this video almost every single day that I've been here. But honestly, I just could not muster up the mind space to do so, and I've been busy. I've been thinking, I've been going through all this crazy stuff, and also speaking to a camera is really difficult, like way harder than I thought it would be. So it also just takes immense effort for me to sit in front of the camera and talk. I feel like I sound so crazy, and I'm not sure if anything I'm saying is making any sense. So okay, those are all my excuses lined up. And let's get into today's video. Today's video is going to be, where have I been? What have I been doing since I got to Korea? Grab yourself something to drink or eat while you watch this video, and let's get started. I'm going to go grab myself some sparkling water. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. I got this sparkling lime water from Market Curly online, and it's delicious. Start with takeoff and everything that went on before departure. Before I came to South Korea, I think I mentioned in my last video that I was not living with my family. So I was actually staying with one of my best friends, Daniela. And while staying with Daniela, I got my second COVID shot, and around that time, I actually started feeling like this pressure in my ears. It's like when you're driving to Virginia, when you're driving through the mountains, and your ears start to pop really hard, like really strongly. Some people feel that on the plane. That's what I was experiencing. And I started experiencing that around January 20th to 21st. And anyone that knows me knows I'm actually kind of the ignore the pain kind of person. Like, I know I should go to the doctor and get this or that checked out, but just, you know, out of sight, out of mind, and hopefully it just disappears on its own naturally, or with like teas or supplements or something. And unfortunately, that did not end up being the case. So this is just a little bit of foreground for some of the stuff that ended up happening while I'm here in Korea. Yes, around January I started getting that ear popping. Then let's skip to my last day. And on my very last day, I went to my friend Lakshmi's house. Lakshmi does nails very beautifully. I think it was her first time doing like these glue-on pieces though on someone, and she did that to me. And they are beautiful. I'm going to insert some videos. So I stayed with Lakshmi on the last night, which was really nice. And then she drove me to the airport in the early morning. I was really grateful for that. I actually left my wallet at home, and my mom had to drive it to the airport, and it was this whole ordeal. But I got my wallet, I got to the airport, and everything went really well from there. Pretty smooth sailing. I was supposed to fly to South Korea with a friend, but that friend actually didn't get her test results in time, so I ended up flying by myself, which was totally fine. I was not nervous at all. If anything, I was really excited and just tired in general. I can't remember what airport I went to. I think it was Dallas. So from my home to Dallas airport, from Dallas to South Korea. My home to Dallas was smooth sailing, and then getting to my flight to South Korea was smooth sailing. But that flight was delayed so long. I can't remember when it was supposed to take off, but let's say it was supposed to take off at 11 a.m. It took off at 3 p.m. Like, it was a very long delay, and then it felt like we were in the air longer than we were supposed to be, is what the flight people said. So it was very frustrating just sitting in the seat buckled up for 4 hours waiting to take off, not knowing when you're going to take off. So I can't just get up and walk around. I have to sit down buckled in. That was like the big hang up for the flight. Flight food was delicious. I'll put some clips of the flight food into the video. I got the vegetarian options. If you know me, I don't eat meat, so I got the vegetarian options. It was like Indian food and I think crackers and stuff. I don't really recall, but it was good. And yeah, then I arrived. Wow, when I arrived, there was this like very long screen and it had like this welcome to Korea type sign. And I just got really excited. I mean, I was already really excited, but there's never any fear. Like during this whole process, there's no fear. It was just all excitement. It was really like just a great, exciting experience. I was ready to go home. I didn't even know what home was and I was ready to go home. So I think the first table I went to, they checked my vaccination. At the time that I came, there was a 7-day quarantine and there was also test requirements. So I had to be tested before I came to make sure that I didn't have COVID. So make sure that you do the right test if that is still in place, because a lot of people in line behind me actually got turned around and I think they had to get back on the plane and go back to their country, which is oh my god, I can't even imagine. So don't put yourself in that situation. Make sure to take the right tests and procedures and bring copies of everything. I brought copies of everything. I brought copies of my ID, of my health insurance, even though I would be using different health insurance here. I brought copies of my passport, of my vaccination, of my tests, of my, like, you name it. I brought copies of it. I brought copies of my degree. Better safe than sorry. I think I want to say I brought 5 copies of everything. And I also gave my parents copies of everything, like 1 packet of copies of everything. So from the test table, so I went to a table where they would, they would test me. I mean, they check my tests. And then I went through like this longer line, I took a left, and then they had me download the quarantine application. So luckily I got to do everything in Korean. I have heard a lot of horror stories already from people because they didn't speak any Korean. They weren't given any information about what to do with the application, etc. All that being said, I wasn't even given a thermometer when I was supposed to have a thermometer. My school ended up supplying me one, which was really nice, but I think things did go very smoothly because I'm confident speaking Korean and just use that to function. And so from that line, I went to another line, and that was one where they checked your passport, like just checked your documents again. And we had to go to the customs line where they checked your documents again. I'm not quite sure what the 2 different lines were for. And then when I was done with the 3rd line, I was done. I was through. I FaceTimed my sister. I think it was really early in the morning for her, so bless her heart. And I was there. So I went on the escalator. I got my bags, which were already like off of the spinny mill thing, so it was very easy. And from there, I had to get a taxi. So this is where, again, a lot of people apparently ran into issues because they weren't sure what kind of, taxi to get, etc. Actually, I was planning to take the express train, but it was closed. The time I got there, it was late at night. And so the train was closed and they said I had to stay at the airport until morning. I was not going to do that. So I went to a taxi that was certified okay to take me specifically to the address that's on your documents. So because you have to quarantine, they can't take you anywhere other than the place that is stated on the document. You just got checked in 3 different lines. So they took me directly to that address. I wrote it a little bit wrong. I think I wrote Jang instead of Jong on one of my things. So they did have a little bit of leeway for that. They let it slide. They took me home and I was met by the lady who runs my hagwon. So that was a really great experience. The apartment was really nice and furnished, and it was filled with all kinds of foods and goodies. I actually did make a video of all the foods that I received from my school. They supplied me with so much stuff. It was very kind of them. But the lighting, there was no natural lighting. 0 natural lighting in this building. I wish I was exaggerating, but there was none. So there's just this like yellow light. I'll put clips in to show you, but that's why I didn't upload that video of the foods that I ate in quarantine, because it was terrible. The lighting was horrible. I looked really bad, and sorry if that sounds superficial, but yeah. So now I'm in quarantine. My ears are still popping, and so I remember I was messaging the owner of the hagwon, and I was already telling her, like, I think I'm gonna need to go to the doctor. And in Korea, you don't go to the doctor, you go to the hospital, or at least a 보건소. You go to one of these places and you get checked. Hospitals, like, the whole checking and the medicine and all that costs very, 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 very little, and so it's nothing to be concerned about. When I say very, 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 very little, I mean like 5 different types of pills for multiple days, and the whole check for like $10. That's like the kind of very inexpensive I'm talking about. It's inconceivable to most Americans, I would say. I also had to get a health check. Oh, they drew my blood. When you come to work, you have to get police check again. You have to get a health check at the hospital, and that entails eyesight. I got these glasses in Korea because it's so inexpensive to get glasses, and I left mine at home. I got my blood drawn, my weight, height, x-ray. I got so much stuff done I can't even remember, and everything of course came back clean. So I feel like I'm jumping all over the place. To summarize, I got here safely. The flight was a bit frustrating in terms of timing. The food was delicious. I had a very easy time getting through customs and the other lines. I taxied to my apartment where the hagwon owner was waiting for me. Lots of food was waiting. I did my time. I got tested, to get out of quarantine. I was out of quarantine. I went to the hospital for both a health check and my ear check, and I got ear medicine and tested for my health. My health was fine. My ears, they said, oh, I didn't mention that. My ears were due to stress. I was skeptical about this, but it likely is the case because I was going through the most stress of my life right before I came here. That month of being at my friend's house, more than a month of being at my friend's house, kind of beyond my control, preparing for a trip that I didn't know how to prepare for, moving out of the country, which is something I'd never done before. The level of stress and anxiety I was feeling was through the roof. So it actually does make sense that that's why it can affect your hearing. All that to say, that was a month ago. So I started my job. I met the girl that was working here and I replaced her. I switched where I lived actually because I was staying at a temporary accommodation before quarantine, and I actually now live where she lived, the girl that left. Hi Michaela, I miss you. So yeah, I got very, acclimated to being here, and I've been having a wonderful time here. And yeah, and my ear pain dissipated until I got COVID. I contracted coronavirus 6 days ago because I get tested tomorrow. And when I contracted coronavirus, I started getting scalp pain, which I looked up and is very common. It's associated with people who also start to experience hair loss within 3 weeks to 3 months after having COVID. So I'm praying I don't get hair loss, but a lot of people who feel the scalp pain end up having hair loss due to the stress. So that's one of the biggest symptoms I've been having. And also extreme throat pain. I had a very high fever, etc. All of the fever and stuff kind of went away after day 1. What came back though was my ears. My ears got completely better. I was not stressed. I feel like I'm doing great at my job. I'm having a great time. I love my coworkers. I love my life. I love my city. I love my new apartment. And then COVID. It's like when I started having a fever and I couldn't feel my head and my head started tingling, all the pressure ran to my ears again. And I'm effed. COVID effed my ears again. Again, it feels like I can't hear. And so also, if it sounds like I'm speaking a little bit sick or congested, it's because I'm still getting over coronavirus. Don't worry, I'll be fine. I'm good. Everything's good. I left out so many things, but this is basically what's been going on with my health in the past month. And why I haven't been here. What have I been doing? I've been going to the hospital for COVID. I'm going to the hospital for my ears. I've been trying to get acclimated to this job. I had to move from one house and then all my stuff to another house. I also had a trip to Seoul, which was really nice. Going forward, I really, really hope... Let me drink some water. Going forward, I really, really hope to keep you more updated. More updated on what's going on with me. I want to find the courage. I get a bit nervous about filming in public, so I need to overcome that because I have so many things I want to tell you. There are some things in the works that I can't tell you for the next 6 months, but there are also things I can tell you about that I'm planning on doing, like self-studying for a topic. So if anyone wants to study for the 한국어 능력 시험, then let me know. I can make a whole video about what I'm using to study for the topic exam, what score I would like to get, what I plan to use that for, etc. I want to have cafe study vlogs, go to work and set up with me vlogs. I want to do like what I'm eating in a day, how I order food, what's in my closet. I want to keep you updated. I want to keep myself updated so I can look back and just like, wow, I did that. I did all those things and I forgot. Big apologies for me. This might have been a really huge rant video, but huge apologies for me about being MIA since I've gotten to Korea. So much has been going on, but at the end of the day, I love my life. God is good. You know, my work is good, the place is good. I'm so grateful, I'm filled with gratitude. And I hope you guys can extend some grace to me for being my absence, and comment below what kind of videos you want to see. I got one comment saying that they want to see vlogs, so I will try to do more vlogs. But please, while I'm in the process of trying to get more active on YouTube, one thing that really helps is, you know, your participation, you know, letting me know what you thought about my video, letting me know what kind of videos you want to see. It's really encouraging and keeps me coming back, you know, with new, fresh, fun ideas. And yeah, so if you like this video, make sure to like this video, comment below. I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
어릴 적엔